most, the thought of a serial killer in their midst sends chills down their spine. Serial killers like Ted Bundy and Joseph DeAngelo are among the most frightening because they were unpredictable and mobile, never striking in the same place and victimizing unlikely targets, people that believed they were safe, like college students, sleeping couples. But the crimes of DeAngelo and Bundy occurred in the 1970s and 80s, in a time where there wasn't a camera on every street, a time before the digital age, when serial killers could move silently and undetected while they hunted for their prey. The thought that a serial killer could hunt, undetected for more than a decade in a digital age seems unfathomable. But that's exactly what Israel Keyes did. In a time when you can leave a digital thumbprint in another state with a single keystroke, and your every move is captured by video surveillance, Israel Keyes managed to kill more than 11 people in a 14-year period, and maybe more. Israel Keyes was raised in an off-the-grid setting for most of his life. His parents raised him as an extremist Christian with racist and anti-Semitic beliefs. He enjoyed hurting animals, a textbook sign of a sociopath. As an adult, he broke away from his parents and joined the military, later marrying a Native American woman and having a child with her. Because of this act of defiance against the extreme and white supremacist and anti-military beliefs of his family, his father disowned him, never speaking to him again. After the military, Keyes moved onto the Mackay Reservation in Neah Bay, Washington, working as a handyman and raising his daughter. It was around this time he began acting on his ingrained violence. His crimes began in 1997. Though the victim has never been identified, Keyes claimed that he raped a girl separated from her friends floating down the Deschutes River in Oregon. He claimed that after the sexual assault, he put her back on the inner tube and sent her back down the river, letting her go. But when he attacked this girl, the intent was to sexually assault her and then take her life. This act was a failed attempt by Keyes, and he vowed never to let another one of his victims walk away from him alive again. It is believed that Keyes began murdering in 2001, after his release from the Army. Although during the many hours of interviews, Keyes hinted that during his time in the Army and the time spent in Egypt, there might have been some activity or acts leading up to his crimes in the United States. Keyes refused to discuss in any detail if there were any murders or crimes of sexual nature while overseas. During the years of 2001 to 2006, Keyes gave vague indications that he murdered at least 4 people. Although these victims were never identified, he also spoke of a murder of an East Coast woman in 2009. Though he never named her, police believe she is 49-year-old Deborah Feldman of Hackensack, New Jersey. The next known victims were a couple, Bill and Lorraine Currier. Keyes murdered this couple while living in Washington. There was no other motivation to kill, other than they were chosen at random. After the attack, Keyes poured Drano over the victims' face and bodies and set the home on fire. The last known victim of Keyes is Samantha Koenig in 2012. Samantha was 18 years old and a barista at a cafe kiosk in Anchorage, Alaska, where Keyes had been living for several years. Samantha was abducted at gunpoint, sexually assaulted, strangled, and left in a building on his property while he went on vacation with his daughter for several weeks. The body was preserved because of the cold conditions in Alaska, and upon his return he photographed her body, making it appear as though she was still alive and demanding a ransom be deposited into her bank account, which he would retrieve using her bank card. He then dismembered her body and dumped her into the Matanuska Lake in Anchorage, Alaska. He traveled to Texas, where he was taken into custody. He was tracked there using the transactions associated with Samantha's bank card. It is thought by the FBI that Keyes murdered a total of 11 people over the course of 14 years, although some believe that it could be more. Israel Keyes traveled extensively across the United States during that 14 years, and some have speculated that he could have committed many more murders in Canada and Mexico, as he's been known to travel there. The most disturbing thing about Israel Keyes is that he hunted at random, not having a specific type of victim or motivation behind his killings. He committed suicide in his cell December 1st, 2012, leaving many questions unanswered and many victims unnamed. This is the Truth Chronicles. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe.